questions, raise your hand so we can get a microphone to you all.
Bam, an exciting weekend for you so far, but obviously we have to talk about Olympics. How excited are you, and what's the difference between training for NBA season and training for the Olympics with a stacked squad as it is?
Obviously you're going into a different situation, different style of play, and then the group it's not you having to do 4 or 5 extra things. You got to do 1 or 2, and then you kind of lean on one another to figure out the rest of it.
Obviously, going back to your first time up, winning the gold medal in Tokyo, is there stuff that you learned from that experience that you're sort of taking into this year in Paris?
I mean, going into it, it's not about yourself. The biggest thing, it's bigger than you getting a gold, because you're not doing it just for a city or a region. You're doing it for a country. You get outside yourself, and everybody kinds of lets their egos out and and really focus in on that. Winning a gold, it doesn't matter who scores the most, doesn't matter who rebounds the most. At the end of the day, you get a gold medal for your country.
How long does it? How long does it take for this group to come together? I mean, you've got 4 practices and then you play. I mean, obviously you're 12 of the best players in the world, but it's unusual, and Canada's going to take that game a little bit serious, even though it doesn't count for anything. How do you fast track that process of really coming together as a group and understanding what everybody's job is?
I feel like we've seen and played against each other enough to where you understand everybody's, tendencies and what everybody's skill sets are, and you kind of mix that. I mean, you got some of the 12 best players, so I feel like it should be easy to figure out how everybody needs to gel and how we need to communicate and move the unit.
Last time it was you and Draymond, really the center rotation. You guys could kind of play the same way now with Joel and AD there. How do you see the big rotation working out, not just overall, but whether you can play alongside those guys as well?
I mean, you don't know till you get out there and start hooping. And then obviously, like I said, it's not about you at the end of the day. It's about winning the gold. So, I feel like if everybody comes with that mindset, it can happen. No matter the rotations, no matter how it goes, you're not taking on the regular role as you would in the regular season of, I got to do this, and this. It's more so you do 1 or 2 things, and, you kind of rally around each other.
Hey, Bam. Last time you were in the Olympics, I mean, you're much more established as a player now than the last time you were there. I mean, do you think that this whole process throughout it, you could still become a better player? Is there something that you're looking on to improve throughout this process? Is it more just sort of defending the gold?
No, I can definitely improve. I mean, you're on the court with, some Hall of Famers at the end of the day. Being able to pick their brain, not only about the Olympics, but about their work ethic, about their tendencies, about, diet, having the opportunity to really talk to people that are, stamped in your field. You can't get enough knowledge out of that.
I want to ask you about watching the draft last night to where you are now, becoming a 2-time Olympian. Can you talk us through that journey and how, I know you watched that, but just walk us through what that means to you.
I'm getting old. That's what that means. I mean, it really hits home just because every year I see the draft, it's just another year where I'm going. I'm going into year 8 at this point. Don't be so shocked. But going into year 8, you think about how fast it goes. And, every year I just sit there and reflect about where I started when I got drafted to, like you said, being a potential 2-time Olympian and being able to have a chance to defend the gold twice. It really puts it in perspective for me, and just being blessed to have these opportunities.
Bam, I'm interested if there's any other events outside of basketball that you want to attend and why.
Yeah. Water polo. I watched it on TV the first time, but you really don't understand how hard it is to tread water until one, you get in the pool. But understanding how they're in like 8 feet, 10 feet water and they're treading water and being able to obviously try to score, but if you look under the water, kicking each other in the leg, and like when you think about it, it's like in every different sport it's always difficult. It's always an adversity. It's always something, a different twist to it. I would say, and it was water rafting, the one where they kind of do a little canoe through the checkpoints. There it is. I mean, obviously, seeing that, never seen it done. But in the Olympics, they make it look easy. And then track and field. And then, obviously, we're going to go to more. I think fencing is one that I feel like I could actually be, I can actually start to gear up to jump in the ring in. I feel like I got the wingspan for it.
Bam, with the draft last night, and it's been that many years for you. How important is it? I know
7.
7 years.
Yeah.
How much has this place been home to you and building this future here? And then I know you joked before that you might get another banner up having this as, I know, it could happen.
Yeah. But, being here 7 years going on 8, it's just been nothing but love. Obviously, not only from the fans, but from the organization as a whole. They took a chance on a kid who people didn't think was that good. And to turn around and see where I am now, it kind of puts it in perspective for me, the organization, and a lot of people who doubted us. And then your second question was defending it, or even having the banner. Yeah, I think it'll be dope because, like I said, it's not about yourself. So obviously, I have my coach there with me. So if I get a banner, I feel like he should get niched at the bottom of it with his last name. Yeah, because Spo obviously is one of those people where he doesn't want credit, even though he takes on a lot of responsibility. So I feel like it'd be dope to have that moment when you look up and you see, you share a moment with your coach where you both went through something in the summer and to go get gold and share that moment.
Last question.
You talked about some of the other sports, the canoe kayak and all that stuff. And you're on a team with 12 of the biggest names in the world. And you don't have Katie Ledecky and you don't have Simone Biles on your team. And they're probably the two faces of maybe the entire Team USA. How much it's assumed this will be the end for Simone. We think. We thought that 3 years ago too.
In fact.
What is, just as an athlete, what does she mean to you? And how much would you like to see her perform live one time?
Shit. I mean, just think about the barriers she's broke through. The type of limitations people tried to put on her. Obviously she had that one move where they tried to, because nobody else could do it, they tried to cancel it out. To be that good, to be that great. And, you're having people trying to figure out ways to breaking those barriers. To be able to just see that one time and obviously hopefully get a picture with her, it'd mean a lot, because she's done a lot for not only, the faces of the faces of us, but for her sport as a whole.